White folks have their own version of ghetto culture, and its name is redneck. That's it. Ghetto culture in the quote unquote white community is the hillbilly mentality. The only difference is that majoritively white folks have quote unquote divested themselves from this mentality. They don't egg it on. They try to move as far away from it as possible. If they have roots in it, they look to uproot and get the hell up out of it, right? So some folks out there say, well, you just pick on black folks. You just talk about black people and ghetto mentality. But what about these white people? Well, guess what? I will continue to talk about the most prevalent problems socially. I would talk about those that are the most ingrained and the most accepted and promoted. And therefore, every now and then you will find yourself one of these. Now, let's get into this video. I'm not going to give all the context because I want us to experience this together. I've only watched a segment of this video, but it is a subject I wanted to get into nonetheless. So without further ado, let's get into it. Hopefully my levels are leveling right now. I'm making processes and systems for myself to make sure that that's not always a thing, but we're going to go ahead and play this out. Okay, let's get that volume up. So it looks like Catherine is getting right into it here.
I will smack this motherfucker outside your head. Touch me again. I'm so glad you're so nice and like your motherfucking sister.
Yeah, immediately. Some of y'all do not need to be having children. Some of y'all got way too many mental illnesses. You're bipolar, your borderline personality disorder, whatever it is. If it is this unregulated, if you are this shitty of a human being, do not bring children into this world, period. Unless you are able to get some healing, to deal with your mess, don't bring them kids in. This is not a recommendation. This is an order.
You're the one who ruined it.
Get the hell out of my room. You're not going no fucking where. Get out. Who? Because I'll drop your motherfucking ass off. She's bipolar.
Okay, the level of projection. I'm sorry. No, this is going to be one of them type videos. This is going to be a stop, start. We are about to unpizzac. This right here is the ghetto culture. That's it right there. That's it. That's the redneckness of it, the hillbilliness of it. It's toxic, it's dysfunctional, it's problematic. And children suffer as a result, and children are failed as a result of this. She just called that child bipolar, a likely 4 or 5-year-old child. I don't care if the child is 14. You are supposed to be the adult. You are the mother. You have issues.
Last month, kids. Is your bio? Yeah. Sadly. Wait, why are you talking to your kids like that? You ain't heard nothing yet, baby.
Wait, what?
Damn, your hair is nappy. Your kids like that. You ain't heard nothing yet, baby. Damn, your hair is nappy. Put your brother's fucking toothbrush up. I don't give a fuck about what. I don't give a fuck about what some random person on the internet gotta say. Pick your head. Get.
Ow!
Get off the sink! I will yank you bald-headed.
Now, I do got to point this out. She is obviously mimicking. She's mimicking the ghetto black culture. She's not mimicking the Irish ghetto culture or the Italian ghetto culture of the 1920s, right? The mafioso mentality here. No. She's mimicking, because I can hear in the background, she's got Lil Wayne. She's talking about this kid is nappy. These are obviously Caucasian children, and it's the first time I've ever heard a Caucasian child be referred to as nappy. She has a certain demeanor about her, and this just goes to show you that it is indeed a cultural problem. There are a lot of these sort of quote unquote snow bunnies, right? Those who are black adjacent. You know, I got to use some of these woke ass words to make things make sense. But there are individuals like this chick right here, who have as much ratchetness in them as any of these black feminist liberal women who continue to perpetuate the very same tomfoolery, dysfunction, and toxic behavior. The stuff that we're seeing out there is now being mimicked by everybody else. I mean, you could go to places in Asia and you'll see it, right? I'm sure there are neighborhoods from Korea to Japan when you have people acting like this now. That's why it needs to be destroyed completely and absolutely, because it has been endorsed, it's been promoted, it's been made okay. Unbelievable. I'm not gonna lie, this is hard for me to see, because anytime things have to do with kids like that, it's a special sort of evil. And my level of compassion, empathy, etc. evaporates. I just got to be real. I'm not a perfect person. I know I'm supposed to turn the other cheek, but I am human.
Well, good thing they ain't your fucking kids, Julie.
Fine.
Ooh, you finna be bald headed. I'm finna shave your shit. You ain't gonna have no motherfucking hair to do.
See, I know, like, most of this is for attention. That's why she's doing it, obviously, on camera. This isn't like a hidden camera somewhere, whatever it is. And I can see in her body language and her demeanor, she's simply looking to create some sort of rage bait. But there is a real conversation to be had about these extremely toxic mothers specifically, right? We've talked about the men and how the men could be violent, the men could be, aggressive and things of that nature and dangerous. But when it comes to these mothers and the way in which they speak to their children, they speak death into their children as opposed to life into them. And they have this sort of bitterness and resentment towards their children, or that's projected to their children, likely because of the lack of the father in the household or whatever other problems. I mean, I'm not just going to put on that. Obviously, their issues stem from far before that. But this is what's happening in more cases than not, because these are indeed the broken homes. That's the ghetto. That's the ghetto. It just happens to be in white skin. In other cases, unfortunately, in most cases that we witness in this day and age, it happens to be covered in melanated, quote unquote, dark or black skin. All of it needs to go. All of it is a detriment to the children who are raised up under it, and then start to mimic it, embrace it, see it as the norm. Those who become addicted to the dysfunction and look to perpetuate it. Those who can't even be in stable and functional situations. Like, I'm going to start this from back here. I will smack this mother upside your head. Oh, I just realized y'all couldn't even see what I was seeing. I was over here watching in silence. I'm sorry, y'all. Let me go ahead and run that back.
I'm so glad you're so nice and like your motherfucking sister.
You're the one who ruined it.
Get the hell out of my room.
Okay, let's say the daughter is acting up, etc. She is a direct carbon copy of you, ma'am, who's supposed to be the representation of mother. And that little boy is likely walking on eggshells. Look at this. We're going to do a behavioral breakdown. So no sound is even necessary. So he's coming here. He's going to be, look, he's figured out the game. Let me do what mama says. Otherwise, it's going to be hell to pay in this house. And that's not discipline. That's the unfortunate part when you have these broken households where the masculine is not in its space and the feminine in its space. The masculine is supposed to be the disciplinarian in the house, not from a place of high emotion, resentment, bitterness, anger, etc. That's why a man who is angry and he is jaded towards life and he puts that onto his children becomes an abusive father, right? He becomes an abusive husband or whatever it is. But a man who is regulated and truly standing in the strength of his masculinity is going to be a protector. So discipline is a function of protection. Let me run that back one more time. Discipline is a function of protection. Children are protected by the discipline that is instilled into them. This will get you hurt. This will lead to better outcomes. I'm not about to tear you up, you know what I mean? Put the Beats by Dre on you because I feel some type of way. No, I'm going to correct the issue because I want what is best for you, because that's my job as a parent, is to guide and lead you. And when you step outside of those confines and those bounds, It's not because I'm pissed off because other people are looking at me crazy because I need other people's validation and I look like a bad parent. So now I feel some type of way. So now nope. We're getting those emotions out of it and saying, look, when you act in this way, life is going to deliver these sorts of consequences. You know, you got a lot of young men being raised without fathers. They can't take male discipline. They can't take male authority. And these are the boys who end up getting popped by the police in more cases than not, getting in fights and getting their life taken from them, ending up in gangs and, you know, getting their life taken at a young age. They can't take the wisdom of a man. They see it as something to be combative towards because all they've seen is quote unquote discipline, but really from a place of emotion, a place of fear, a place of resentment, bitterness, anger, sometimes hatred. Let's be real. And these are functions of what I call the ghetto mentality. Again, it's not reserved to a color. It's not reserved to a religion. It's not reserved to any group of people. Unfortunately, we see it more in the quote unquote black culture. That's where it's being promoted and pushed. That's the vehicle that's being used. And therefore, black folks are taking this in mass. And so you'll have, trust me, I know too many white women like this one right here. Unfortunately, I've came across quite a few in my lifetime who act in this way, who speak in this manner, who likely treat their children in this way. There's nothing cute about it. And these are the type of folks that need social services called on them. These are the type of individuals who should not be raising their children. Again, I would never want any child to be raised outside. That's why I say the first things first. Some people should not be having children, period. Some folks should not be having children, period. At all. Well, you know, maybe if, no, ain't no damn maybe. Y'all, if you do not have the necessary emotional intelligence and regulation necessary to be a parent, the selflessness to be a parent, understanding to be a parent, do not become a parent. Oh, so you saying we should unalive babies? No. Stop doing that. Take responsibility. Close your damn legs. Stop thinking with your little head. Yes, that's an option. Imagine you stop throwing yourself out there like bait. Can we get back to a generation that thinks, that reasons? Can we get back to a generation that looks to make the better decision as opposed to just going along with whatever nonsense the crowd's got going on, whatever's going to get the most clicks and attention and likes? Can we think for ourselves again? Or is that too much to ask? Because again, where did she get? She got the black scent going. That's what they call it, the black scent, right? She's doing all the little, You can see her. Look at this. She might as well be Asha Quenisha. Just all the attitude in the world. This is mimicry. Then the daughter is about to be the exact same trailer park. It's about to be the exact same. Generational. Got to do better, folks. We got to do better. All of us. I say we because it is a communal thing. We do better on this side of the conversation by calling it out, by speaking out, by not being afraid of, the likely social consequences of telling the truth. Because the truth speaks for itself. I mean, it needs a carrier. It needs a messenger, but it will do its own work. The lie is the one that needs all this extra nonsense to it, all this extra promotion to it. No, the truth is going to cut through. It's going to offend most. It's going to trigger most, but only because it's true. If I tell you something that's not true, you're not going to feel any type of way about it. If you don't believe it to be true, you're not going to feel any type of way about it. I can call you all sorts of idiots or whatever. And if you don't feel that way about yourself, it's not going to hit. It's not. But if I say it and you believe it and you resonate with that, you're going to be triggered by it. So when somebody says you're acting ratchet, right, you need to get some common sense. It is your problem and your fault. You're broke because of your decisions. You're in terrible relationships because of your decisions. If that triggers you, then there's some truth to it. Some truth to it. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Now, if you'd like to stay around, make sure to click that little subscribe button down there, or you can show some love by going to the description below and clicking on the button titled Buy Me a Coffee. Leave a little something there, or click on the Cash App. Leave a little something here. Till the next time, peace.
I fell in love with the sunshine. I fell in love with the light. I fell in love with the full moon. I fell in love with the night. I can see the light again. I can see the light. You can see the life in him illuminate the night. I know the time is taking. A 3-6-5, that's a full rotation. I see you looking up, you know them constellations. Constantly gazing like house of praises, you get to praising.